Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my YouTube channel Learn French with Anubhav. If you have already subscribed to my channel, press the bell icon to get the latest updates. In today's class, we are going to start the revision for CBSE Class 10th Board Exam 2022-23 batch. Right, and the first video for revision is going to be French tenses revision. In this video, we are going to revise the concept of all the tenses. Okay, we are not going to solve any question here. We are going to revise the concept, like what are the indicators, when to use which tense, right, how to conjugate these tenses. In that way, we are going to have the discussion. So the syllabus for class 10th when it comes to tenses is all the tenses which are there in class 9th syllabus plus 3-4 extra tenses. So we are discussing all the tenses in today's video which are there in the syllabus, right? So let's begin with the discussion. Right, first tense that we have with us is futur proche. Futur proche means near future, used for events that are just going to happen, right? Near future, say in an instance, or in 5 minutes, or in 10 minutes it's going to happen, right? For that we will use futur proche. So what's the indicator? It can be dans un moment, in a moment, dans 5 minutes, in 5 minutes, dans 10 minutes, in 10 minutes, like that. So these are going to be the indicators, right, which are going to indicate you that you need to use futur proche here. So now we need to talk about the conjugation, how to conjugate it, right? So we have the subject, then we do the present tense conjugation of alle plus infinitive form. What's the infinitive form? Infinitive form is the unconjugated form, right? The raw form. You may call it the raw form as well. So the form which we don't conjugate, like you will be getting the infinitive form in the question, in the brackets, right? So that's the infinitive. Present tense conjugation of alle. Okay, so I'm making a small section here because there are numerous tenses that we will be conjugating in this video itself. Okay, so quickly let's discuss the present tense conjugation of alle. So first I'm writing all the subject pronouns here. We all are aware of these meanings, but let's discuss them quickly. Je means I, tu means you, il means he or it, elle means she, nous means we, vous means you in terms of formal conversation or when you are referring to a large, like a plural second person, right? And il and elle plural for they, third person plural, right? So now we have to conjugate present tense of alle. So it's je vais, tu vas, il, elle va, nous allons, vous allez, and il, elle vont, right? So this was your futur proche. And if we talk about, suppose in the infinitive, you get the question like n'a pas joué. Answer needs to be in futur proche, and in the brackets you have n'a pas joué, indicating what? You need to write in negative, in negation, right? So how you will do negation of a futur proche sentence? It's very easy. Subject plus na plus present tense conjugation of alle plus pas plus infinitive, and this will become an apostrophe in case this conjugation begins with a vowel, like in this case. In these two, it's beginning with a vowel, right? So this will become an apostrophe. It's very easy, isn't it? So that's how question can be framed for futur proche. Now let's move to the next tense that we have in our hand is futur simple. Right, futur simple. So now futur simple, when to use? First let's talk about that. It's simple future, right, the way we have it in English. It's the French counterpart of that. So future simple we use for future events which are not as close as future proche. Okay, if we make a graph here, say it's present. Here we have future proche, here we have future anterior, and here we have future sample. Okay, so future sample in future which is not as recent as this. For that we will use this tense. How to conjugate? Okay, and now I need to erase the conjugation of alle. You have the stem. Okay, how to form the stem I will be discussing in a minute. Let's first quickly discuss the endings. AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ, ONT. These are your endings for the tense future simple. And now how to form the stem? For ER ending verb, it's the infinitive. For IR ending verb, it's again the infinitive. For GER, again infinitive, right? For CER, again infinitive. For RE ending verb, you will drop the last E before adding the ending. Okay, but at the same time in future sample there are around 15 to 20 exceptions which are there in the syllabus, right? So all those exceptions you need to prepare, and for that you need to watch my future sample video. There are around 5 to 6 videos that you must watch. Okay, I will be adding their links in the description box below. Like, you really need to do the exceptions of future sample like this. These are very easy. You just have the infinitive and here you remove the E and you add the endings. Very easy. But what about future sample exceptions? Right. For example, for the stem for ether is SER. Je serai. Right. So you need to learn all these exceptions. For example, for alle it's IR. So it becomes jire. I will go. Right. So like this, there are numerous exceptions which you need to prepare, and all those exceptions which are there in your curriculum, most of them are discussed in this particular video. I will be putting the link in the description box below. So now quickly let's see how to form. Let's say for ER ending verb we are taking parler, right? So je parlerai. Very easy. For two we can take choisir. So choisira. For next one, for GR we can take ranger, rangera. For CR we can take commencer, commenceront. And for RE ending verb, we can take actually rendre. Let's take rendre. Because écrire is not a regular verb, right? That's why I took rendre. So vous rendre. RENDREZ. Like we removed this E and then we had this stem and then we added the ending, right? So that's how you're going to form your future sample. And if it's in negative, then how? Very easy. Je, I mean the subject pronoun, then na, then the verb, then pa. Okay, so that's how you'll be doing the negation. Now I need to move to the next tense. Okay, it's going to take time, the third one, because it's very important. Well, all the tenses are important. It's just that passive composite you need to do really well. Because many students tend to make mistakes in passive composite. I need to rub this as well. Because here I will be writing the conjugation of the auxiliary verb. Oh, wait. Indicators for future sample. Tomorrow, demain. Then la semaine prochaine, the next week. Or après 2 mois, après 3 mois, after 2 months, after 3 months. Like basically week or days, like these many days later, or the next week, or tomorrow, or the next month. For that, future sample will be there. It's just that you need to check whether it contains future anterior or not. Like there can be a question. Okay, that I will discuss later when we will discuss future anterior. First, let's discuss passé composé. Okay, so third one we have passé composé. Past tense, used for single action in the past, which is not as recent past. Recent past is what? Passé récent. So okay, let's make the graph this time as well. We have present, we have passé récent, right? We have passé composé. Okay, any action preceding another action in the past. That will be pluska parfait, and long back a continuous action which is going on imparfait. So that's how you have the graph for the past tense. Okay. So now you have passé composé, how to form. We have the subject. We have the present tense conjugation of auxiliary verb, and then we have the past participle followed by subject verb agreement if required. So subject, we know what a subject is. It could be any subject pronoun, or you can have a name or proper nouns as well. Then you have the present tense conjugation of the auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb we have two. We have avoir and we have être. Let's quickly discuss the present tense conjugation of these two verbs. For avoir, ai, as, a, avant, ave, ont. And for être, we have je suis, tu es, il, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, il, elles sont. So this you have for être. Now, which verb will have which tense? Okay, so I am not going to discuss about transitive and intransitive concept because it's not their intent. Okay, so let's not get into that topic. But here we can discuss it simply, like which tense, which verb is for which auxiliary verb is for which verb, right? So first, if we see for être, with être we will have the entire group of advent, or you can learn it as Dr. Mrs. Wondertramp. Whichever is easier for you, do in that way. Dr. Mrs. Wondertramp has been discussed in my être passé composé video. So this is the second video that you need to watch. Okay, first one was futur simple exceptions, and the second one is this that you must watch, right? So suis, est, sont, met, sont. This is the conjugation for être. Auxiliary verb. For être, we will have all the verbs of Dr. Mrs. Wondertramp, and we will also have all the pronominal verbs, right? Pronominal verbs, when we conjugate, many people get confused for the placement of the pronoun, the reflexive pronoun, right? So in case there's a reflexive pronoun, it will become subject plus pronoun. Okay. Then present tense conjugation auxiliary verb, and then the past participle. For example, je, me, suis, and then the past participle of the verb. Right. In affirmative passé composé, that's how it's going to be done. And if it's a negative, then subject plus na plus pronoun plus present tense conjugation of auxiliary verb. Then pa, then, past participle. Or if it's a negative expression, then there would be ria or person or plus encore, depend from case to case, right? So passé composé, we have two. One is Dr. Mrs. Wonder Trump, or you can learn it as Advent as well. And we have all the pronominal verbs. Apart from these verbs, all the other verbs are going to have avoir as their past participle. Sorry, auxiliary verb. Okay. Avoir will be their auxiliary verb apart from all these. And again, I'm not just going into transitive, intransitive, because that will further make things confusing as of now. Okay. So since we are preparing for 10th standard board exam, we will discuss this much only. No need to discuss when auxiliary verb change. Okay, no need to discuss about that. So, avoir, right, that's the conjugation. How to form past participle now? First, let's discuss the indicators. Yesterday, hier, avant-hier, day before yesterday. La semaine dernière, le mois dernier, last week, last month, l'année dernière, last year, right? So, for those, you're going to have your passé composé, but you need to make sure that if it's a continuous action or it's a prolonged action in the past, then you will have to use imparfait for that, right? So you need to judge about it, right? So we have discussed this much. Now quickly discuss the past participle. Oh God, this video is going to be hell long, but we are going to discuss a lot of things, so it's fine. Right, so what we were discussing, past participle. For er ending verb, simply drop the r and remaining the stem with ending with an e, add accent aigu. For example, parler. Easy. For ir ending verb, remove the r, last r. For example, fini. Okay. For GER ending verb, again it's the same thing. Remove the R and then add accent aigu. For example, manger. Right. So that's how you're gonna form the past participle. But again, there are exceptions in this as well. For that, you need to watch, the third video that you need to watch is passé composé with avoir. Okay, in this video, I have discussed all the exceptions. For example, past participle of être is été, past participle of vouloir is voulu, past participle of, what else? Connaître is connu, right? So like that, there are many more tenses, many more verbs, right? So now we got to know about passé composé pretty much in detail. Only one small topic is left, and let's not leave it undiscussed. We have subject-verb agreement, the last thing, right? Now, you must have noticed, or you must be knowing about it, that subject-verb agreement, when it appears in the sentence, when this auxiliary verb is être, or when it's avoir, there's one case when it comes. When there's a direct object pronoun, COD, in the sentence, okay. How to do subject-verb agreement? In case your subject and verb should be in agreement with each other, right? So if your subject is masculine singular, nothing to be done. No changes in the past participle. If your subject is feminine singular, then an E will get added up. For example, parler, oh no, parler I can't because parler is with avoir. Let's take se coucher. Right, se coucher. So, for example, elle se coucher with extra E, double E. Okay, like that. So, if it's feminine plural, for example, let's put S here. So, ES will get added up, and if it's masculine plural, then only one S will get added up. That's how you're going to do subject verb agreement. There are two cases. First case, auxiliary verb is être, and second case, avoir with COD, complement d'objet direct or direct object pronoun. Right. Yeah, this was your passive composite. Let's rub the entire thing off. Right. And to be noted, the auxiliary verb which are followed in passive composite, those auxiliary verb will remain throughout, be it any tense which has an auxiliary verb like plusque parfait or futur antérieur, infinitive passé. In all that, it will remain uniform. Okay. For example, if manger is conjugated with avoir in passive composite, it will be conjugated with avoir only in plusque parfait or in futur antérieur or in infinitive passé, right? Let's take a look at what do we have next. I guess imperative. I hope so. Let's see. Yes, it's imperative. Okay, imperative. Imperative used for giving orders or advices. We know the application now. Indicator is what? In your question, you will have a blank without a subject. Okay, in imperative, you don't write the subject. And it will, when you read it, you will literally get to know that it seems like an order or an advice. And usually in imperative sentence, at the end, we have an exclamation mark as well. Right. Imperative is not done with all subjects, subject pronouns. No, it's not done with all. It's done with only tu, nu, and vu. These are the three subjects which are going to have imperative done. Right. How to do imperative. Very similar, almost I would say exactly similar as present tense conjugation. Okay. It's just that in ER ending verb and in GER ending verb, there are conjugation with tu. For example, mange or you have parle. If you are doing imperative with tu, S will get removed. Okay. And you get your imperative form, right? For nu and vu, it's going to be same. Mangeons. To be noted that this E will be there because in present tense conjugation of GER ending verb, this E is there. EONS is the ending, right? So mangeons and manger, similarly, parlons and parler. Right, so that's your this thing. And for other tenses, you're going to have that S in tu, right? For the other tenses, and we also, let's quickly discuss about pronominal verbs since it's in syllabus. You may get pronominal verb question for this as well, for imperative, right? So pronominal verb in affirmative imperative, that's the only case where the pronoun comes after the verb. For example, lève-toi, lèvons-nous, levez-vous. Subject is coming, sorry, the pronoun is coming after the verb, right? But if it's a negative, for example, you have to say ne pas se lever is the verb that you need to do in imperative, right? How will you do it? You need to say, you need to conjugate with tu. So it will be what? Ne te lève pas. So when it becomes negative, the pronoun comes again to its original position, right? That is before the verb. So that's how you're gonna do imperative, right? Used for orders or advices. And let's quickly discuss the exceptions. Have I written the exceptions? Yes, I have written. That's great. So for avoir, for tu it's AIE, for nu it's AYONS, and for vous it's AYEZ. Ayon, aye. For être it's sois, soyons, soyez. For savoir, which means to know, it's sache, sachons, sachez. For vouloir, it is vai, vaillant, vailler. Your exceptions with imperative, so you must prepare these exceptions really well. Okay, the spelling might not be clear. The first one is with tu, second one is with nu, and the third one is with vu. Subjects won't be coming, of course, right? VEUILLE, VEUILLONS, VEUILLEZ. Let me just quickly check whether the recording is taking place properly or not. Yeah, but it's going on fine, but I think there's a glare on uh-oh. Wait, let me just adjust the camera a bit. I mean the phone a bit. No. Wait. Really sorry for that. In the initial recording, there was some glare of the light. So extremely sorry for that. Yeah, now it's fine. And I guess it's almost 26 minutes by now. Oh, certainly it's going to be the longest video on my channel till now. Interesting. So this was your imperative. Okay, let's quickly move to the next tense. I hope this much discussion on imperative is sufficient. And now I need to wrap this portion as well, because we are going to discuss the next tense which has endings included in it, which is imparfait. In imparfait also we have exception, like there's this être, right? Etre's new conjugation is SOMMES, som. So how will we form imparfait for that? So imparfait of être we are not going to discuss right now. We will be discussing it in plusquamparfait, okay? So don't worry. In this video you are literally discussing as much as we could. It's just that exceptions I am skipping a few tenses because there are a lot of exceptions. For that, I will be providing the link in the description box below. You can watch that video. Imparfait, used for prolonged action in the past. Indicator, autrefois, back then, or once upon a time. Or pendant mon enfance, during my childhood. Right. Another application of imparfait comes in C clauses, and C clauses also we will discuss in this video itself later. Okay, so I'll be discussing it there. I don't want to include too many concepts at once to confuse you. No, I don't want to do that. Pendant mon enfance, during my childhood. So long back. Okay, you're referring to something in historical or something you continuously did, or some continuous action in the past, back in the past, like a quite old thing, right? For that you're gonna use imparfait. And how to conjugate for imparfait? First, we take the present tense conjugation with nu. Present tense conjugation with nu. Then, let's take parler for instance. So it's parlant, right? We remove this ONS and then we add the endings. What are the endings of imparfait? AIS for je, AIS for tu, AIT for illel, IONS for nu, IEZ for vu, and AIENT for illendal plural. And stem is what? We obtained it by removing ONS at the end, which is PARL. So, je parle. Right. If we take GR ending verb, for the present tense conjugation, how it's done? The ending is EONS, right? But here we are removing only ONS, so this E will be retained in the case of a GER ending verb. So it will be like this: manger, ranger, right? This E will be retained. It won't be removed, right? That was your imparfait. Autrefois, pendant mon enfance are few indicators of it. And one more thing that was advised by my teacher when I was in school, when I was in 10th, even in 12th, I was told that in passé composé versus imparfait, if you get for être and avoir, preferably go for imparfait when the question is for être and avoir, right? Though I'm not very sure for the reason behind it, but that's what we were advised to, and that's what I have followed. This was your imparfait. Very easy tense. It's just that you should be well versed with the endings and the stem formation. Okay. Okay, let's quickly discuss for I ending verb as well. For example, finir, nous finissons. Right. You remove the ONS and then you add the ending. For example, je finissais. Easy, right? Next we have present conditional. Okay. Now this is a very interesting verb. For one specific reason. It's like an amalgamation of two tenses, okay? Can you name the tenses? I'm giving you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's like an amalgamation of futur simple and imparfait. You know how? Wait. For present conditional, the formation is very easy. Subject plus we have the verb conjugation. And how that verb is conjugated? You have the stem and then you have the ending. The stem is for futur simple and the ending is from where? From imparfait. Easy, right? Like if you are aware of futur simple and if you are aware of imparfait endings, you can do present conditional very easily. When to use present conditional? Present conditional is used when you need to be polite. Okay. So, polite, when you speak, if you speak softly or if you speak very gently, the opposite person can make out that, okay, you are being very polite. But when you are writing, sometimes it becomes difficult to understand whether the person is trying to be polite or not, right? Or the tonality cannot be understood. Present conditional is a rescue. If you write in present conditional, it's in politeness, right? It's having politeness in it. So now if we talk about the formation of present conditional, we have already discussed, right? So what's going to be the indicator for present conditional? S'il vous plaît, s'il te plaît, one of the indicator. Like if it's in your sentence, there's please, it means you are going to say politely. Or it's like a restaurant or a shop-like situation where the vendor is asking, what would you like to have, sir? What would you like to have, ma'am? In that case, of course, we will use present conditional, right? Or in case you are asking to an elder, what would you like to have or something like that, right? What would you want? So for that also present conditional, right? Of course, we will discuss the questions also in some other video. And there's a C clause for present conditional as well. We won't discuss it right now. We will discuss it later. Okay. Let's quickly discuss few formations. And yes, futur simple, the exceptions which are there in futur simple, you need to be well versed with that again, because that will form the basis for your stem of present conditional as well. So if on that particular topic, your two tenses are dependent. Okay, so you can't skip futur simple exceptions. You need to learn. Okay, let's quickly form. Say parler. Parler's stem is simply the infinitive parlerions. For I ending verb, let's take choisir. Choisiriez. Right. What would you like to choose? What would we like to speak? Il, elle. Let's take rendre again. Rendre. Right. Vouloir is an exception. So, je, voudr is the stem of futur simple and ais is the ending corresponding to je. This was your present conditional. Okay. Now I need to rub it off and the video is going to be about 45 minutes or something. I am a bit surprised, but okay, not a big issue. Right. And what will be the negation form? Simply na here and pa here. Very easy. Okay, very easy. Now we have futur anterior. Futur anterior, initially in the video we made a graph, remember? Like futur anterior used for actions taking place before another action in the future. In other words, an event preceding another event in future. For that we use futur sample. Okay. So sorry, for that we use futur anterior. Futur anterior. Right. What are the indicators? Presence of decur, loss ka, osito ka, and quand. These mean when or as soon as. So these are the indicators. Okay. Two parts will be there. I'm talking about CBSE curriculum. Two parts will be there. If one part has futur sample and any one of these indicators are present, you know that you need to use futur anterior. And you can comprehend the sentence as well, that that particular action would be preceding the another action in future. Okay. So for that we are using futur anterior. Formation, very easy. It is very easy. Okay, we need to discuss the futur sample conjugation of auxiliary verb as well. Wait. Okay, you have avoir and être as the auxiliary verb, right? It is subject plus futur sample conjugation of auxiliary verb plus past participle, the ones that we use in passé composé, plus subject verb agreement if applicable. We have already discussed the two cases in this video itself. So avoir and être, let's quickly discuss the futur sample form. J'aurai, it becomes J apostrophe, aura, aura, auront, aurait, auront. Right. And then we have for être, serait, sera, sera, seront, serait, seront. Very easy, right? So, and if it's a negative, here you will have na, here you will have pa. Indicator is what? Presence of any one of these plus futur sample in another part of the same sentence, right? So, this was your futur sample. Now, quickly let's discuss about plus ka parfait as well. PQP, plus ka parfait. I write PQP. Okay. So, it's like the counterpart of futur anterior in the past. Okay. Any action occurring in the past preceding another past action is used as, is conjugated in plus ka parfait. Okay. So it's used for any action preceding another action in the past. It was, futur anterior was what? Any action preceding another action in the future. So it's a counterpart of it only. How to do it? We have the subject plus, here it was futur sample. Now we will do imparfait of auxiliary verb. Okay. Auxiliary verb same as what we have in passé composé. Then we have the past participle plus subject verb agreement if applicable. Two cases, auxiliary verb être, and in case of avoir, direct object pronoun or COD is present, right? And if it's in negative, na here, pa here. Let's quickly discuss the imparfait conjugation of the auxiliary verb être and avoir, right? Let me write it the full thing, just in case you get confused. It's imparfait and not imperative, okay? It's imparfait. Why did I miss the subject? Why did I love the subject pronouns? Not a big issue. I didn't erase quite a lot. J'avais. Tu avais. Il, elle avait. Nous avions. Vous aviez. Il avait. Je serai. C'est. Oh, wait. Sorry. I was writing in Futur Simple. Était. Nous étions. Vous étiez. Il était. Okay, let me just again check whether the recording is taking place properly or not. Yep, it's happening properly. Wait. Okay, so this was your plus ka parfait. We have discussed the subject verb agreement, we have discussed the application and the indicator. Presence of any of these plus passé composé, and sometimes you can find imparfait as well in such questions. Okay, so these are your indicators for plus ka parfait. Let's rub it off. How many tenses we are left with? Oh God, we have subjunctive, infinitive passé, and the present tense, and C clauses. Again, there are a lot of topics that are yet to be discussed. Let's discuss them quickly. Next we have infinitive passé. Now, it was a matter of surprise for me. Infinitive passé is not there in your syllabus as such, but it's there in your sample paper. Hence, I felt like discussing about infinitive passé. In infinitive passé, as per your curriculum, it's very easy. There's no subject. Indicator is what? There's no subject. Presence of subject is not there. Okay. We have après or avant. What have I written? Oh God. Après or avant. After or before. Okay. Après, avant, blank. And then the rest of the sentence. And what's the formation? Après or avant plus infinitive of the auxiliary verb plus past participle followed by the agreement if applicable. For example, après avant. Après avoir parlé. Okay, like that. Après avoir parlé, après avoir joué, something like that. Jouer, like in past participle form. Right? And that was our infinitive passé. Now we have present tense when there's nothing, like no indicator, any sort of that a special tense will be required. Conjugate in present tense. We have 3 C clauses. Let's discuss them as well. C plus present is either imperative or futur simple. Okay. C plus imparfait is present conditional. And C plus ka parfait is past conditional. Conditional passé, I don't think it's there in the syllabus for this batch. But anyways, we can discuss this much that past conditional is what? Subject plus present conditional of auxiliary verb plus past participle plus the subject verb agreement if applicable. Finally, we are on the last tense or the verb form. Like many people don't even call it a tense because it's more of a verb form, right? In subjunctive also we have like past, future. We are yet to discuss all of it, right? We haven't explored much. We have just discussed majority of school curriculum only. Once we are done with the revision, we are gonna go deep into the language. Subjunctive is used for any possibility, feelings, thoughts, wishes, desire, obligation. For those we use subjunctive. Formation is what? For example, il faut que or je pense que. They are verbs which are especially used for subjunctive, like penser, souhaiter. Penser means to think, souhaiter means to wish, right? Vouloir, to want, falloir, to be must, right? For example, il faut or je souhaite. Then after that you will have que, that. Okay. Now, que can, apart from que, you can have avant que, you can have jusqu'à ce que, You can have pour que, you can have bien que, you can have sans que. You can have these indicators as well. For example, il faut que, il faut bien que, or je souhaite sans que, like that. You can have your indicators, and after that you'll have a subject and then a blank and then the rest of the sentence. And how to form subjunctive? We know it well. It's used for desire, obligation, possibility, feeling, thought, etc. Right? We take third person or plural form. Third person plural form of present tense conjugation. For example, parle, remove ent, and then add the endings. For example, parle, 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 parlions, parlier, ions, iez to be noted, and then simply ent. So these are your endings for subjunctive. Okay, subjunctive, there are 8 to 9 exceptions. So you need to watch my exception video as well. I am not discussing in this particular video because it won't be possible right now to discuss because the video is already very long. Right, 8 to 9 exceptions are there. You must prepare for the exceptions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. With this, we complete the entire revision for class 10th. I mean, of course, exceptions I didn't discuss. So those you need to watch the video specifically. Right. So we have completed the concept revision of French tenses for class 10th, board exam 2022-23. Let's put a halt here. C'est tout pour aujourd'hui. That's all for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Learn French with Anubhav. And if you have any doubt or suggestion, you may write that in the comment section below. You may also like my Facebook page by the same name, Learn French with Anubhav. See you in my next video. Thanks for watching. God au revoir. N'oubliez pas que la langue française est l'amour. 47-minute video. Interesting. See you in the next video.